Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Club here on WTOP. I'm your host, Dan I. Alongside me, Alif Karim and Justin Penman, and our man with the magic hands, David Romanovich. He'll be joining us later on. Guys, it's been a busy 2 weeks of soccer, and the next 2 weeks promise to be even a little bit zanier, so let's get right to it. Let's start with the Premier League with a not-so-pretty result, and obviously I'm talking about Southampton and Sunderland. Southampton looked like a team that was at the top of the table, a powerhouse, throwing up an 8 spot and a clean sheet to boot. Alif, is Southampton this good, or was Sunderland just that bad?
Sunderland were atrocious in that game. The entire game, my only facial reaction was this. Because they were that bad.
The whole time?
The whole time. They were bad. The defense was terrible. The offense was off. The midfield was non-existent.
Southampton now, they've yet to lose at home. They've got the 3 wins and a draw. They're up there in the table. Are these guys going to be able to hang around there, or are we expecting a fade off as the season goes?
I can honestly see them as a team that is a contender for a Europa League spot, if not a Champions League.
So obviously, rough times for if you're Sunderland. An 8-0 loss, probably one of the most lopsided decisions I've seen in a long, long time. Promise, not all of the games were not that lopsided. Next, we're going to talk about the team that actually does sit across the top of the EPL. Chelsea managed a 2-1 win against Crystal Palace in a game that saw both teams finish with just 10 men. Justin, your thoughts on this one and that really rough red card for Chelsea?
It was really rough for Chelsea. Not only did they not only have Diego Costa, Loic Remy was dead up front. That shows that their depth starts to struggle when it comes to in-game situations because Crystal Palace is really not that good. And I really think that Chelsea should have won by more.
On that not that good part, the most atrocious part of that game was the Azpilicueta tackle. It was completely uncalled for.
Yeah, completely uncalled for. I agree.
That player right there.
I agree completely.
Now, guys, Chelsea, a little bit of a struggle against a not-so-good team. Is this a step away from form, anything to worry about, or is this just a little bit of a notch and just keep moving forward from here?
I think it's going to help them in the long run. It kind of brings them back down to earth to say, wow, we just barely beat Crystal Palace, so now they can go ahead and really work on their game and just focus that they need depth besides Diego Costa.
Certainly, and sometimes those top teams, they do need those reality checks to avoid trap games and things like that. Guys, one more match from the Premier League that we want to get to quick. Liverpool and QPR played to probably the most roller coaster finish that we will see in this campaign. 4 golazos, 8 minutos. Liverpool escapes with a 3-2 win, but this game was absolute madness. Justin, what were your thoughts?
Well, when you score 4 goals in 8 minutes in the last 8 minutes of the game, your mind's blown. I don't care if you're a soccer fan or not. To see that much scoring going on at once, say if you're a hockey fan, to see 4 goals in the last 8 minutes of the game, that's crazy.
Especially at the pace at which they scored.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I know Liverpool were not that consistent that entire game, especially with Balotelli, who was not on par at all. But you have to remember that it's the Premier League, and the Premier League is just one of those leagues that you have to watch, and these are the moments that make it the Premier League entirely.
And guys, obviously this is going to be one of those checks. Balotelli not necessarily living up to standard. We'll get back to Balotelli later on in the show. But for now, we're going to take a quick break here on Inside the Club. When we get back, we'll take a quick tour around Europe for some bright spots. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Fourth meeting.
Do you like this top? It's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
My joints ache so bad, I wake up in pain every day. I want to know why.
I want to know why my hair is falling out. How did this happen?
How did this happen? A little pain in my knee. That's how it started.
That's how it started. This rash on my face, now it's like my body is attacking me. I want answers.
When you don't have the right answers, it may be time to ask your doctor the right question.
I have lupus?
Last night, Lorai Capricuzzi scored 2 goals on Alya Brianlove. And
Joe, get out. Adam, you're in.
Lori Korpakovsky scored 2 goals on Ilya Brizgalov. Got it!
Welcome back to Inside the Club here on WTOP. Jumping into Germany in the Bundesliga, Dortmund suffered another setback in a 2-1 loss to Cologne this week. Justin, what does this mean for them, and how has the loss of Robert Lewandowski affected them?
Well, what it means for them is they're in deep trouble right now. They really need to start picking it up. They've been killed by injuries so far this year as well, so that doesn't help the cause either. And Lewandowski was a huge part. You see how well he's doing for Bayern Munich right now? They are on top of the league because he is really just carrying the team. And Marco Rose, they've been worried about his health all along this season, his fitness. They have to keep track of those injuries, and they have to keep track of their passing game. If you looked at the passing game against Cologne this week, they literally did not have a single pass that went inside the box to another player.
I think the only bright spot for Dortmund has been the return of Shinji Kagawa. But Shinji Kagawa himself is not one player who can change it all. And frankly, Shinji played better when Robert was there. Robert isn't there, and now look what happened.
He was a great link-up.
Exactly.
Certainly, when you take away that middleman or take away some star power, it also pulls away from the rest of the team. You have to then pick up the slack in other places.
Absolutely.
What does this mean for their hopes of winning a title? Is this really it?
It's pretty much it. When you've got Mönchengladbach and Bayern Munich on top of the league right now, those teams both very strong. And then you've got those lower level teams that are still causing problems for Dortmund. You've got Schalke 04. You've got Wolfsburg.
You've got Cologne. They lost to Cologne. That just proves that they're not going to win the title or even be top three.
Certainly, that's a
but
problem.
But they can make a
in
climb
itself.
back to the top 10.
Certainly something to keep an eye on in the Bundesliga. Moving from Germany on to La Liga and into Spain, where Valencia laid an egg against Deportivo, dropping a 3-0 decision. Alif, how bad of a game was this for Valencia?
This was terrible on so many levels. The goalkeeper was not.
You're just not happy this week.
I'm not happy at all, Dan. I'm not happy at all. I saw very bad games. Justin saw good games. Back to Valencia. Their defense was just off. Their attack was not there, and their midfield just looked like a bunch of preschoolers who were struggling to figure out where the ball was.
Now, I coach preschoolers, and I must say, that's difficult when you've got comping and moving.
See,
it's a
you know
headache.
the feels.
But you started to get that feel from Valencia in this game. It was ugly to watch. It was one of those games where there's sometimes where 3-0 doesn't necessarily reflect the score. No, because it could have been so much worse.
Sorry for leaving with you, buddy.
I'm sorry. Sorry for myself.
So what we've learned, Alif, you got to watch some better games, my friend.
I do.
All right, guys. We haven't talked much, but we're going to talk now about Champions League Tuesdays, which, let's face it, those are the best Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah.
Manchester City held a solid 2-0 lead in their game against CSKA in Moscow, and then it was gone. Just like that, all of a sudden, Man City has to settle for a 2-2 draw in front of no crowd. Remember, stadium ban, no fans in this game, just weird environment, and a weird result the same way for Man City.
It was. Frankly, I questioned at one point whether or not the coach decided, let me give my players a bad pep talk. And then this happened. They just conceded 2 goals out of nowhere. And CSKA Moscow, they should have won against this team. At least 3-1, but 2-2? I mean, Justin, what do you think?
Their passing game deteriorated in the second half. Their completion percentage of passes went down 30%. 30% in just 1 minute of a difference between the halves. That's unreal. Man City's got to keep focused throughout the entire game. They can't just believe it's over after the first half, because soccer is a 90-minute game, not a 45-minute one.
Certainly, and all it takes is one shot, 1 second for things to entirely change. you let the momentum slip away even without a home crowd for Moscow.
This is in high school, people.
Yeah, you got to be able to play all the way through.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we will get back to our club of the week, and we're going to get to them right after the break. We're going to be talking about Bayern Munich. They've had a little bit of a good run as of recently. We'll get to them right after the break. Stay with us on Inside the Club.
Save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bag your lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000 bucks. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Every night before the show, me and the guys, we like to loosen up a little bit. Blue, 42, hike! Every now and then, Dan likes to take it a little too far. But hey, the show's all about competition, so we'll take it.
Stupid Dan with stupid football and stupid running.
I got no balls for losing.
Charlie, he's in beefing.
Shocking shows it road all the time. Just had a few drinks. Just can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. We're just buzzed. Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
Welcome back to Inside the Club here on WTOP. I'm Dan I, joined again by Alif Karim and Justin Penman. And guys, let's get to our Club of the Week. This week, Bayern Munich out of the Bundesliga, a team that has been rolling as of late, including a 7-1 win against Roma just yesterday. Alif, tell us a little bit more about the history of this wonderful German football club.
The exact date of their founding is 27 February 1900s. They're best known as the Bavarians, and even though their stadium right now is the Allianz Arena, it's been there since 2005. Their original stadium was the Munich's Olympiastadion. Best players who've come out of it are players like Franz Beckenbauer and Gerd Müller, who are German legends. Franz Beckenbauer, who was the only person to have won a World Cup as a player and as a coach.
Justin, looking at this squad, it's a team that they're the fifth most valuable team in the world for football right now. $1.235 billion in terms of ranking. This is a team that you always know that this is going to be a team that's contending for titles. And
well, look at their history.
Right, that's
24 national titles, 17 national cups, and 10 Champions League wins. I mean, great numbers. One of the best football clubs in Europe.
Insane. Honestly, this club is rolling. In their last 10 games, they have won 9 and drew 1. They're undefeated. They're rolling, and the coach thinks they can get better. This is scary. This is honestly very scary right now.
Yeah, and you start talking about, yes, a very good club consistently, but almost to a dynasty standpoint, they've won 6 of the last 10 German titles. This is a team that every year they are right there. But guys, they do that. They bring in players, they let players go. Everyone does it through the transfer windows. They've brought in some big names this year, and we talked about Robert Lewandowski a little bit earlier. Why don't you guys talk a little bit more about who's in, who's out, and what you guys think about that?
Well, in was Xabi Alonso, but he was kind of a replacement transfer for Toni Kroos. And I love that. I love that Toni Kroos left for Real Madrid. He needed to get his name out. Now, hold up. He needed to get his name out there. He needs to be better. And frankly, with his stats, with his style of play, it goes perfectly with Real Madrid. It goes perfectly with Ronaldo, with James, with Bale, with Isco.
It goes perfectly with Real Madrid. When he was on Bayern Munich, he had a higher completion percentage of passes. The entire team of Arsenal, Also, now that he's on Real Madrid, he's got more passes completed than Valencia and Sevilla's team, both.
Exactly.
But the thing is, that's why Bayern Munich should have kept him instead of Xabi Alonso. Toni Kroos is a maestro in the German midfield.
See, that's the other thing. If they kept him, they wouldn't have had the super striker in Robert Lewandowski at all. They needed
That's
the
incorrect,
funds.
though. They had the money already for Robert Lewandowski. They didn't need some of those minor transfers like Kurt or Rode or Benicia.
Benicia is actually a very big transfer as a CB.
He ended up coming through. But the thing is, they still had money for both of those players, and they could have kept Kroos. Imagine how
Instead
good they would have
been.
been.
The club, think about the player. Toni Kroos needed to go to get his name out there. He needed to better himself in terms of history. He needed to better himself in terms of results. He already has a lot of Champions League wins and a lot of World Cup wins, but he needed to go and play somewhere else.
So, Alif, is this good for Toni Kroos? Is this good for the team? Who does it benefit and who does it hurt?
Benefits Real Madrid, and Toni Kroos kind of hurts Bayern Munich.
Oh, hurts Bayern?
I think it hurts both. Toni Kroos, German national pride. For German players to leave their league is a huge, huge diss to the country. And I can't believe that Toni Kroos left after such a good World Cup performance. And Toni Kroos is such a national idol now. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me for Bayern Munich.
Standing ovations in Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's because he's known because he's a German player.
Not just that, his playing style's amazing.
Yeah.
Just watch one game.
Yes, I know, I have.
All right, guys. Well, certainly Bayern Munich and their players, or lack thereof now, and Toni Kroos, ones to watch as they continue their Champions League campaign as well as in the Bundesliga. We're going to take another quick break, but on the other side, we have our man Dave here to talk about our Club of the Week. Dave?
Coming up after the break, I'll have your goal of the week, which comes from both men's and women's soccer, and your save of the week. It's actually 2 saves in 1. Now, we worked really hard on this, so you better stay for after the break, because it's going to be good. Stay right here on Inside the Club.
Honey,
Dope. Dope.
the credit fairy doesn't exist.
What?
It's make-believe. Nobody left anything under your pillow.
If there's no credit fairy, then we'll make our credit score go up.
We will, by doing things like paying our bills on time.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
What?
Hey, Matt, we're doing basketball this weekend, right?
No, Blaze, I told you we're doing hockey.
We did hockey last weekend.
I don't care, we're doing hockey this weekend again.
It's basketball season.
It's hockey season.
Basketball.
Hockey.
Basketball.
Hockey. Basketball. College hockey.
Why not both?
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm calling an ambulance.
No, don't do that. I can't afford that.
No, it's SaveVac. It's a free service.
SaveVac ambulance. 20-year-old male. Back injury from a fall.
Dispatch,
Bravo
SaveVac
response.
acknowledging.
All right, how does your back feel right now?
SaveVac is here to protect you, no matter the cost. SaveVac, by the students, for the students.
Welcome back to Inside the Club. I worked really hard on this week's Team of the Week, but first we're going to go with your first goal of the week. I actually have 2 this week because I tried really hard because I love you. This is from our Manchester United versus West Bromwich Albion game. After this cute little intro we have here, it was scored by Delay Blind, their new transfer. He's a Netherlands, so did very good at the World Cup. As you can see here, he just rifles it into the bottom corner of the net. So we see another angle here. As we freeze it right about here, there's a little bit of room right on his left side, and it's going to be basically the guide to him slotting it very low and very fast with a lot of curve that makes me weak at the knees because I love me some curve on these shots. Look at that right there. As we see another angle, he's just going to nail it right into the back corner of this net. Pinpoint accuracy, you can't get any better than that. Now let's move forward to our women's goal. You know, we don't discriminate here. We got the women's goal of the week. Comes from the U.S. women's national team game against Haiti. So we fast forward a little bit here, partway through the game. We have a player coming down on the flank here. She's going to cross it in, and a poor clearance from the Haiti player is going to leave Megan Klingenberg rifling it home. Look at that accuracy from so far outside of the box with that kind of velocity on it is ridiculous. She deserves to celebrate a little bit here. But we're going to go to another angle. Take a look at this again. As you can see right here, all these defenders are very consolidated in the box. And as we saw, Megan Klingenberg, she's not even on screen yet. She's all the way out here, almost like halfway to midfield. As we move forward, we will see that this poor clearance will equal a Megan Klingenberg rocket. I'm going to nickname her NASA because she's building rockets more efficient than NASA can. So as we go forward to our save of the week, as our save of the week comes from the MLS, it comes from the Portland Timbers versus Real Salt Lake game. Nick Rimando, he doesn't get a whole lot of playing time for the men's national team because Tim Howard, but he deserves it. There's one save there and another save to keep the old ball out of the net. Another angle here. That first save, oh, look at that. He puts his body on the line for this first save, and then he gets up. As we move forward, you'll be able to see that he gets up, has the awareness to get back and get that other save from almost both of which from being point-blank range. Now, as we move forward to our team of the week, we'll start off with our substitutes. Our first substitute will be Fabricio from the Deportivo La Coruña game versus Valencia that we talked about earlier. He's the reason why they kept a clean sheet against a very informed Valencia side. Phil Jagielka, he had a goal, another goal. He has 3 goals this season. For a defender, 3 goals this early on in the season is fantastic. Ryan Mason from Tottenham. Tottenham had a pretty poor game, but it wasn't his fault. In just his 3rd Premier League start, he shows that he not only can play in the Premier League, but he belongs in the Premier League. And all 3 of these players over here, Max Cruz, Son Heung-min, and Graziano Pelle, all had 2 goals over the weekend. And we move forward to our first spot, our goalkeeper spot. Joe Hart from that Manchester City versus Tottenham game. He had a penalty save, and he had several acrobatic saves that really only limited Tottenham to only 1 goal. He kept it a much more boring game than it very well could have been. So we head over to our right back spot. We have Danilo Avelar from Cagliari. He had a goal in their Serie A game over the weekend, and he continually got up and down the right flanks all day, causing so much trouble for the opposing defense. Our first center back spot goes to Diego Godin from Atletico Madrid. Last season, in their surprise season, he was a rock in defense. He's continuing that again, continued that over the weekend, and in their Champions League game today against Malmo, he scored a goal in the 87th minute in a rout versus the Swedish side. Other center back spot, we have Giancarlo Gonzalez from Palermo. In their game, he was a signing from over the summer. He finally got his debut over the weekend, and in his debut, he scored the late winner. First of all, for a defender, scoring a goal anytime is good, much less to win the game. And then for our left back spot, we have Philipp Lahm from Bayern Munich. The Bayern Munich skipper scored 2 goals over the weekend, and he's just showing why he's been doing this for so well for so long. And as we look here at our team of the week so far, we got a pretty basic defense going on. Got our 4 defenders and our goalkeeper. Let's move forward to the midfield. Our first midfield spot goes to Cesc Fabregas. He's been putting in world-class performance after world-class performance all year for Chelsea, and this weekend he opened up his goal-scoring tally as well. I think this might be my favorite player of the team of the week, Karim Yoda from Getafe. He used the force, and he scored 2 goals this weekend in their win over Real Sociedad. He had both of their goals. That's the only scores he scored. He was, well, to put it good, he was a stud in midfield, he was. For our left midfield spot, we have Dusan Tadic. We talked about the Southampton 8-0 demolition of Sunderland earlier. He had 4 assists and a goal in that game. He is only one of 6 players to get 4 assists in a Premier League game. For our right mid spot, we have Arjen Robben from Bayern Munich. He's been super in form lately. He can't be stopped. He scored 2 goals and an assist in Bayern Munich's demolition of Roma in the UEFA Champions League. And as we look at our midfield again so far, see it's coming together. the nice little Star Wars character in the middle there next to Fabregas and Robin and Tadic on the outsides. Now let's move forward to our 2 striker spots. Our first striker spot goes to Sergio Aguero. I almost made him player of the week. I mean, he scored all 4 goals in Manchester City's 4-1 win over Tottenham, and he would have been player of the week if it weren't for this man, striker Luis Adriano from Shakhtar Donetsk. In Shakhtar Donetsk's game against Borisov in the Champions League, he scored 5 goals, 4 of which coming in the first half. That's a UEFA Champions League record for goals in one half. And only one other player in UEFA Champions League history has scored 5 goals in one game, and you may know him. He's a nice little man I like to call Lionel Messi. And here's the team. Dan, I put in a lot of hard work, lots of coffee. What do you think?
Love it, Dave. Love it, Dave. All right. Well, I promise, take a break we must, and the Star Wars references will stop there, I promise. We will get right back to it in just a couple of minutes. These guys, as well as some bold predictions. Stay with
Hey, Matt, we're doing basketball this weekend, right?
No, Blaze, I told you we're doing hockey.
We did hockey last weekend.
I don't care, we're doing hockey this weekend again.
It's basketball season.
It's hockey season.
Basketball.
Hockey.
Basketball. Hockey. Basketball.
College hockey.
Why not both?
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, are you going out tonight? I can't. My parents say I have to be home right after work. That's so gay.
Totally gay.
Ugh, that is so Emma and Julia. Why are you saying that's so Emma and Julia?
Well, you know, when something is dumb or stupid, you say that's so Emma and Julia.
Who says that?
Everyone.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
All right, welcome back here to Inside the Club. Guys, we're getting right down to the wire here. We're into the added time. So let's get right to some yay or nay. Starting Alif with you. Is Manchester City going to win the Premier League?
Yay. They are in good form, and I want to see them win.
I'm going to jump back over to our man, David Romanovich. David, is Bale not being in the lineup going to hurt Real Madrid in El Clasico?
I say yay at that one. He has world-class speed, and he's a world-class player, and he gives people fits on the wing. I think that will hurt them a little bit. I don't know if that'll make them lose the game, but it will. They'll definitely miss him.
Justin, jumping back, staying with El Clasico. Suarez maybe in the starting lineup. Does this help Barca?
Helps them, yes, absolutely. But not the reason they're going to win. They're just that good of a team.
They're that good anyway. Alif, rotating back to you here. Was Luke Shaw a gamble that ended up being too good to be true?
Yes, he is unfit, and he's not performing as I expected him to.
All right, back over. Senor Hermanovich, will Matt Hummels end up going to Manchester United?
I'm going to say nay on that one. I definitely think they're going to buy a defender in the January transfer window. I just don't think they're going to open up their pocketbook that much in the January window. Maybe in the summer window, but I don't think so.
All right, and last question for Justin. Was buying Balotelli a good move for Liverpool?
Nay, hasn't been performing this season.
All right, guys, right down to the wire here, 30 seconds left. Bold predictions. Alif, we'll start with you.
Juventus will win the Serie A undefeated.
David, over to you with the screen.
Manchester City will get ousted at the group stage of the Champions League. They just haven't shown they can perform in the Champions League at all.
And bring it back here, Senor Penman.
Mönchengladbach will win instead of Bayern Munich.
And I have my bold prediction. Seattle Sounders will win the Supporter Shield in the MLS. Well, guys, that was fun. I had a good time.
Absolutely.
That's all for us here on Inside the Club. For David Romanovich, Leif Kareem, and Justin Penman, I'm Dan I. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Always keep it up or night.